Hey guys, it's Carnifex with Nerd This, and today we are doing the second video in our Shadow of War mobile series. Today we're going to be doing a champion overview, so going over the stats that impact champions' abilities in the game, whether it's through mitigating damage, doing damage through basic attacks, doing damage through abilities. We'll get into how you do things to improve your champions. Yeah, let's go. So there are 6 classes. We're going to start off with the tanks. So you have Baranor, Aslar, Boromir, Gimli, and the Hammer of Sauron. Baranor is the only free-to-play one, but do not feel bad. In my opinion, he very well might be the best one. It is certainly not Boromir and certainly not Hammer of Sauron. I feel pretty confident saying that much. Anyway, so it's all about power, right? This power stat. It's what you kind of get judged on in these power tournaments, what you get judged on for your placement in the leaderboard. It's what it all bleeds into. So whenever you level up your character via experience scrolls and Mirian, boost their power. Whenever you get enough shards to evolve them to the next level, boost their power, because it's boosting the stat gain per level. You can see there the per level growth increases whenever it hits the next star. Now you'll see that the gain is very minimal to go from kind of well, it sounds like the copper's around, star 5 1/5 to star like 5 2/5. Whenever you finish the star, it's a much more significant gain per level of growth. So inscriptions, that's one of the ways you improve your character. They start off in this gray color. And with the gray ones, you just need one of that gray thing. You can inscribe it, boom, puts it in the ring. Whenever you have a ring filled up, you will have the ability to then enhance that ring, which will move it to the next level. So if I were to fill out all these inscriptions, this agility one, this unity one, this other agility one, ability to enhance it, and it would bring him to ring level 2. And then I would have a new set of those 7 inscription spots to fill. Some of them would be green, some of them would be gray. So going on, green ones are composed of 2 green fragments and 2 gray fragments. They're not always from the same family though. So you can see here it's Sight 2 and then Unity 1. Usually they will be from the same family, but every once in a while they won't be. So check and make sure before you raid a bunch of missions that it is actually you are getting both the fragments you want for that mission. Once you get to blue, it's 25 of each, 25 blue, 25 green, 25 gray. With purples, you ditch the grays, but you get the purples and you have to go to 45. Now, obviously, the stat gains on the purples, 420 armor, 205 dodge is significantly higher than 15 accuracy and 75 ability pen. So if you're long-term oriented, it's actually a good thing that there's so much more that goes into them, because if you could just like finish out a character at ring level 11, but he hadn't been getting good stats because they were all grays, the person who had a longer haul getting that character to ring level 11 is going to have a better character at the end of that. So don't complain too much. Then you have runes. So these runes will unlock as you increase your ring level. So if we go back to Aslar, we can see that he has none of those unlocked. You need to unlock the first one by reaching ring level 2, second one by ring level 4, third one by ring level 7, and the final one by ring level 11. Same thing with abilities. You actually start off with the first one here, but you unlock the second ability at ring level 2, you unlock the third ability at ring level 4, fourth one at ring level 7. So just real quick, there are 3 kinds of abilities that the heroes have. They have what I'm going to call their active ability. This is the one that after you have 5 successful basic attacks, they gain the ability, you can activate their ability. So for him, it's a battering ram, right? Strikes them, makes them vulnerable, so they take more damage because their armor's been reduced. Then they have another ability that it still impacts the battlefield rate. It's not passive. It's not a passive ability. These last 2 are passive abilities. They're kind of flat. They're always present. They're always relevant. They're usually boosting stats, if not always boosting stats. This one, there's an animation for it. It happens. However, you can't activate it, right? So it kind of feels weird to call it an active ability. So I call it their proct ability. don't know if it's on a timer, don't know if it's on like a timer with a variable range after the last one's been used. There's so many things. There's very little that I have been able to conclusively determine about what activates these. But every once in a while, they will just use this ability, and you'll be able to tell. Again, there's an animation for it, and they're doing something that's outside of their normal capabilities whenever they do it. Then you have your two passives, right? So they're boosting stats in some way. Sometimes it's just them. Sometimes it's just other people. Sometimes it's them and other people. Sometimes it's them based on how many. So you can, sometimes it's basing only their stats based on how many people there are. Sometimes basing everyone's stats as long as they match certain qualifications. They're all over the place, but basically these will never be activated. They just start off. They exist, right? That is not a passive ability. It happens. It's active. That is not accurate to call it a passive ability. You simply don't activate it. It's activated on its own, which is why I'm calling it a proc ability. Okay. Back to Boromir. So you can see here, since he is at ring level 2, you have 3 different options for runes. Do not try and fix problem spots with these. You will see certain with the tanks, they all at least work towards the stats that matter for tanks. The damage mitigation ones doesn't mean that they're all created equal, but at least it means that they're all working towards the goal of a tank being a tank, which is absorbing damage. You want the tanks to be the ones taking damage because they are built to take it better than anyone else. So you can see like the purple ones, everyone gets a flat health, and then you can, again, choose a secondary one based off that. Don't try and... you're increasing by such a small percentage. If the raw stat value that you're starting off with has a small percentage applied to it, it's basically going to make no difference. It's not going to fix your problem, and you were better off making the unit better at doing its job. Let's go to someone who I haven't boosted all their abilities, like Ratbag. So you can see with Ratbag, I can upgrade these abilities. They go up to the character level, right? So you see he's a character level 15, and it says out of 56 because my player level is 56. So your abilities cannot be higher than your character level, and your character level cannot be higher than your player level. So if I want use Sumerian to boost him up, I'm intentionally saving it in case I get to a point to where I need someone to cheaply get ability points for the daily. So I'm intentionally not working on him. All right, let's go back to the tanks. So we're going to talk about the stats real quick, just all the different stats there, how they work together. Health, right? It's total amount of HP, hit points you have. Attack. This is physical damage. This is affecting your basic attacks. Even if, so for example, this cleave. Obviously, Baranor is dealing physical damage to his enemies. However, it uses ability power to determine that damage. It does not take attack into account. Attack is the stat that is drawn upon in order to determine the damage for the base attack. Now, I asked them to give me their equations for damage, and I was basically kindly told, no, we're not going to give you that. So I don't have like the exact equation I can just, overlay here on the screen for you, but that is certainly the case, and I can prove that with Castamere later. I'll show you. Armor. Reduces damage dealt by basic attacks. Ability power increases the strength of the abilities. So, and I'll show you, I'll just show you now. Let's grab Castamere real quick. So with Castamere, you have a bit more variety, so you can boost ability defense, ability power, or armor, right? So ability power is kind of a different direction. So if we look right now, his shield goes for 1,200, 394. He has an ability power of 2255. If we change this over to Rune of Power, so now he's getting that 7% ability power boost. Oh, now it is 12,819, and the health, the healing is boosted as well, and you see that little plus green. So when you see those little plus greens, that's what your runes are impacting. Sometimes there will be other stats boosted, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's an error or something, but that is usually what they're indicating, that it's a stat that's been boosted by your runes. So now that we've shown the fact that ability power being adjusted increases the ability power, even though the level isn't the power of the ability, even though the level isn't changing. Just proving my point. Ability defense is the defense that is used to mitigate damage from enemy abilities. Crit rating, think of it like your crit damage percentage. We don't know how to go from crit rating to crit damage percentage, but as you increase it, they will do more damage from their crits. Crit chance, thank goodness they made one easy, right? Just 20% chance to crit. Crit avoidance reduces enemy crit chance. So basically, the working assumption, the logical assumption is that by having a larger quantity of crit avoidance, their crit chance drops. Just basically a description. Dodge. Now see here it says increases the likelihood of evading basic attacks. Your abilities can't miss. Your abilities will always hit every hit. Every single tick of Galadriel's little vortex is going to hit every single time. There's no way to dodge it other than simply not being present in the AoE. Accuracy basically helps negate dodge. So the more accuracy you have, the more dodge you're gonna remove from your enemy's equation. Armor penetration, it helps your opponent's armor matter less. Again, we don't know the exchange. We don't know if it's additive. If this Baronor were able to attack himself, if they would simply have 259 armor removed, and then the equation would we can't be sure, but it's probably something along those lines. Ability pen, the same bypasses enemy ability defense. Attack speed, it's frequency, the number of basic attacks per second, and every character is at 0.56. Top, they also have affiliation, so Baronor is a man, he's from Gondor, Free People's Warriors, and their abilities, what we call kind of synchronization abilities, makes people good companions. So there you go. We have our mages, right? Galadriel, Saruman, Gandalf the Grey, Shelob. Now, your mages they're your AP characters. If you're familiar with like MMO language, like League of Legends, anything like that, they do their damage from their abilities. Their basic attacks are very low. You can see the attack damage there is very, very low, and you'll see it compared to Celebrimbor in a little bit. Ability power is high. Ability pen is high. So, and again, with like your mages, you want to be boosting the ability power. You don't want to be boosting anything else. Anything else is a waste. Assassins, they have very mediocre attack and ability power stats, but they have a higher crit chance than anyone else, and their crit rating is also incredibly high. So when they do crit, their crit damage is significantly better than other people's. Right. Support, they do a myriad of things, but they support in some way. Castamere, he gives a shield, right? He heals a little bit. Lady Marwyn drops an AoE heal, and then also can stun enemies with a more significant damage attack. Haas heals people while giving them a boosted attack speed for a little while. Ratbag reduces enemy armor and increases bonus damage dealt. Do a bunch of different things. Range, so you can see Celebrimbor. You can see his attack is considerably higher than his ability power. He's the flip side of the range, and the fighter's kind of the flip side of your APs, your mages. These are your ADCs, right? Got fighters. Talion, Eltariel, Aragorn. Again, the armor is nothing to write home about, but their attack is pretty high. They have a boosted crit chance percentage, so do the ranged. So it's not as high as the assassins, so it's still better than normal. So this is the champion overview video. I will go into each class, but basically in each party you want to have a Baronor and you want to have 1 or 2 supports and then 1 or 2 damage dealers. Having a balance between your APs and your ADCs is good. So for example, right now I'm running a Baronor, Castamere, Galadriel, and Celebrimbor. So I have 1 attack damage, 1 AP damage, 1 support, and 1 tank. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and there will be more videos up soon.